What's up guys, welcome back to Texas Young Guns. In today's video, this week's video, I'm going to show you how to power your RV by a generator, whether it's for dry camping, maybe you're in a hurricane situation like what just happened with Florida. Here's all the tips and tricks and the different levels of powering your RV with a generator. Now as you see, I have several different pieces of equipment here. We have what I call suitcase generators. We also have a bigger 3500. Now these are better for carrying around. This one is quite heavy. You can either run the RV off of one suitcase generator. You'll be severely limited on what you can run. You can parallel the two small suitcase generators, or you can opt for a bigger generator like this Honda 3500 here, and you can run the whole RV, AC, and maybe a couple other things with just one generator. Now I've done reviews of these two generators here on this channel, so if you missed those, make sure and go back and watch those. If you enjoyed the content today, make sure to like this video and subscribe to us. We put out videos almost every week. But that being said, there are pros to cons to the different methods of supplying your RV with power via a generator. And let's go through them here. So, if you opt for getting one of these suitcase generators to power your RV, there's a lot of pros with that. Just know that there's going to be some limitations, which will be the cons. We'll get into that in a moment. Some of the pros with this are these are really fuel efficient. They do not use a lot of gas. They don't take up a lot of space. And probably the biggest pro of all is the fact that most people will be able to lift these by themselves. Now I'm not saying that they're super light, but what I am saying is if you have a little bit of strength to you, you'll have no problem lifting this up and down your truck, your trailer, wherever you're going to keep it. Now that being said, something else you can do if you're too afraid to pick this one up is you can actually parallel these two. Essentially that will double your power. Now the downside of that is you're going to have to purchase two of these generators. Ideally you'll have two of the same exact make and model and size. So this is not ideal with two different manufacturers and two different sizes. However, it does work. You'll also have to purchase one of these parallel kits. What that parallel kit does is it allows you to hook up two generators that have the parallel plugs on them, and it allows you to use a centralized plug for them. So what are some of the downsides to this? Well, they're just not that powerful, especially for an RV on their own. So if you choose to power your RV with only one of these, I'm sure it's lighter, sure it's more fuel efficient, but you're going to be severely limited on what you can run. Think of this as only having a one 110 volt plug or one household plug. This will be able to handle anywhere from 15 to 20 amps. To put that in perspective, the AC in your RV probably runs anywhere from 10 to 15 amps, 10 being a smaller one and 15 being a bigger one. So that being said, if you think about it that way and you only have 15 to 20 amps, most of that is going to be taken up by your air conditioner, and we'll test that out here in a second. Now if you parallel these two, the cons, like I said, is you have to buy two of these, you have to get the parallel kit. Now you have to fill up two of them. I'm not sure what the numbers are. Maybe two of these running is just as efficient, maybe a little bit less efficient than if you just got one big one, but that's something to consider. Now you have two generators to maintain, two generators to keep running. Now a couple things to consider when you're choosing one of these. The pros is you only need one generator, you only have maintenance on one generator, you have a decent output, and well, like I said, it's just one generator. The downsides is that these are really heavy. It was everything for me and my wife to pick this up and put it in the back of the truck. I almost had to get my brother-in-law to help me out. Luckily Lana has been working out and she was able to lift it. But these are really heavy. So if you're going to be moving it up and down from your truck, maybe the back of your rig, if you have like one of those baskets that goes into the trailer hitch or a scenario like that, you're going to have a hard time. Now this is probably, running one of these is probably more efficient than running two of those if I had to guess. That's an educated guess, but it is a guess, so I'm not sure about that. These bigger ones are also going to have more plug options. So as you can see here, this one has a generator plug already, whereas those you have to like convert it or use a parallel kit. Now all of these options are going to require a generator adapter. So you're going to have to go from your 50 or 30 amp plug from your RV. You're going to have an adapter in order to make any of these situations work. So using any of these options, your RV is going to have a plug that looks like that. This is a 50 amp plug for our RV. You might have a 30 amp plug, but it's going to look something like this. You're going to have these adapters in order to make any of these situations work. If you choose one of these smaller suitcase generators and only one of them, you're going to have this conversion where it goes from this plug over to a 110, and you'll plug the 110 into the generator and then hook it up to your 50 amp or 30 amp. If you choose to use either this bigger generator or parallel it, you're going to need one that goes from your 50 amp plug over to a twist lock. These twist lock is a 4-prong plug. You stick it in and twist it, and it hooks up that way. Now I got lucky on mine, and my particular adapter, my parallel kit, actually has a RV 50 amp plug. So all I have to do is plug my RV cable into this adapter, this parallel plug, and it works like that. So I don't need any adapters if I have this one. This particular one is made by Win. It works well for me. There are several out there that will probably work just fine for you. Now one other option that will have no problem running your RV is one of these. I hesitate to even talk about these kind of generators, these open frame generators, in this video because some of you will think this is a viable option. Yes, this generator will easily power your RV trailer, but my gosh, are they loud. You can't even really have a conversation in the next one because they're so loud. If you have people around you that are trying to enjoy the same scenery, the same setup you are, this will be a complete disturbance. You can be 100 yards away and the people next to you will not be able to hardly have a conversation around a generator of this type. So while I will demonstrate this today, if you keep watching, I highly suggest you do not use this generator. It will be a humongous disturbance to your neighbors. But I am going to show you how to use it. The reason being is if you are in a situation where maybe it's not for leisure, maybe you need power to your RV because you're in the middle of nowhere, maybe there's a hurricane. For those reasons, I will show you how to use one of these with your RV. Alright, so now we are going to try and run the RV with just one of these suitcase generators. Remember that you're going to need a 50 amp or 30 amp plug over to a 110 because all these smaller suitcases generators have are 110 plugs. Most of them do have a 12 volt, but that really has nothing to do with the RV. So we are going to plug into the 110. Plug in our cable here, and we should be good to go. Now you want to have everything off in the RV because, like I mentioned earlier several times, this is extremely limited on what you can run in the RV. If you plan on running the air conditioner, you can only run the air conditioner. In fact, I suggest turning all your breakers off and only having the one thing that you want to run hooked up to this generator. Let's go ahead and start it here without further delay. Put it in the choke position. Make sure the economy is off. Now that the generator started and warmed up, I will try to run the AC on the RV. You can hear this generator really work. That's perfect. The generator didn't even run the AC. As soon as I kicked on the AC, the thing died. So let's try the Predator from Harbor Freight and see if that one has any better luck. So now I had the generators paralleled. As you can see, the Harbor Freight generator couldn't even run the AC either. So you can charge the RV, run some small things, but that test just shows you that you can't even really run the AC with one suitcase generator. You really need two. But now we have them paralleled, as you can see. And we're gonna see what they can do together as a team. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start both generators, making sure they're warmed up, start the AC, and see what they can do. So now I'm going to try to run the RV off of this Honda 3500. Remember that you do need a twist lock plug, or if your RV will run off of 110, you can do that as well. I don't have the proper twist lock plug for this one. It's a 3-prong. I have a 4-prong, and I'm going to use the 110, but it should run it just fine. Last but not least, we are going to be running the big Honda. This is the one that you should not be running whatsoever if you have anybody around you. But if you're in a situation where you're maybe post-hurricane, or your power's knocked out, or some kind of those emergency situations, then maybe it's acceptable. So I do have the proper twist lock for this one. I've hooked it in directly to the 15-amp plug. So let's start this one out and see how it does. So what did you learn today? Well, you learned how to power your RV with one of these generators. All of them are really similar on how you do that. I'm going to link some stuff below on Amazon to kind of help you do that if you're interested in hooking up your RV to any one of these generators. I'll put all the various adapters and plugs and all that on there. So what you learned is that one suitcase generator really isn't enough to run everything in your RV. As you can see, both of them died out when I tried to start the AC with one of these. Now you can possibly run a bunch of lights. You can keep the RV charged if like you're on a beach. Maybe you don't need AC or heat, or maybe you have a gas furnace in your RV so you don't need electricity to do that. These generators will work on their own. Just if you're in a summer situation where you need AC, just know that one of these is probably not going to be able to handle it. You learned that if you have two of these and you parallel them properly, you can absolutely power your RV. It gives you twice the power. This is the 1800. This one is about similar sized. More than enough to run your RV. I wouldn't recommend running like the microwave and the AC at the same time. However, they will do it. You learned that one of these bigger Hondas or one of these other bigger inverter generators is more than enough size. In fact, whenever I cranked up the AC, it barely revved up at all. So these are really efficient and really quiet if it's an inverter generator. And last but not least, you learned that one of these contractor open frame generators, they can very easily power your RV. However, I'm going to say it for like the 10th time in this video, do not bring these to an RV park. Do not bring them where there's a lot of people. They are very disturbing, they are very loud. However, if you're in a situation where you can use this, they will very easily power your RV. One thing to note is that these contractor generators are not inverter generators, meaning they do not output clean electricity. These generators are meant for powering like tools and certain things that doesn't necessarily need clean energy. Those inverter generators are perfect. They put sine wave energy out there. It's clean energy. It will not damage your RV. You run the risk with one of these contractor generators of damaging the electronics in your RV. Will it happen? Probably not, but it is a risk to be aware of. So, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below. Like I said, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And I hope to see you next week, guys. Bye.